Andrew Bustamante. And this video is called Control or Be Controlled. The one rule that will decide it.
Thumb that CIA teaches us that's scary but simple, right? And that rule of thumb is that you are either in control or you are under control. There is no other option, right? And it's one of those simple binary dichotomies that, we all use to teach people a simple truth. In reality, there are lots of other gradations between the two. But when you take that at face value, it's really about understanding that every day you have to choose whether to take control or whether not to take control. And understand that if you choose not to take control, you're giving control to someone else. And when you talk about influence, Jonathan, it's a perfect example because you hear people talk about influence all the time. And there's books about influence, and there's gurus who teach you how to build influence, and business coaches who teach you how to build influence. And you also hear the word persuasion. And there's YouTube videos about persuasion, and there's TikTok videos about persuasion. Persuasion and influence, oftentimes people misunderstand them as the same thing when they're two very different things, right? Persuasion requires that you put active energy into someone in person, right? And that you were using emotional ploys to persuade their way of thinking.
Manipulate.
Influence happens when you are not with somebody, but they are still recalling your knowledge or your belief or your ideas.
Or your lies.
Or your lies, exactly, Em. So persuasion comes before influence. And you have to invest in mastering persuasion if you ever want to be a person of influence, because the influence is the roof on the house, but all the other structure of the house is built on persuasion.
How do I become a better persuader?
First, you need to understand that people don't care about your point of view, but people care very much that other people understand their own opinions. So if you want to build persuasion, if you want to be persuasive, you have to learn how to understand and identify what other people value and then demonstrate back to them their own values. If they care about freedom, then you need to highlight freedom. If they care about environmentalism, then you need to talk about environmentalism. If they care about the future of their children, then you need to talk about the future of their children. But if you sit there and talk about, the incredibly high tax rate that you have to pay when they're worried about how they're going to put food on the table, you're not going to persuade them, right? So if you can learn to
meet people where they're at.
Correct. It's something that we call perspective. If you can gain perspective and let go of your own perceptions, then you have a real opportunity to build persuasive appeal, which will turn into long-term influence.
Yeah. But in the beginning of that video, he starts with either you're in control or you're giving up control. And if you're not choosing to take control, you're voluntarily giving up control. Look at COVID, shots, masks. A lot of people left it for somebody else to make the decision for them. What is right for you? And we did what we did, but it wasn't based off of a recommendation from anybody. It was the decision we felt was best for us and for our family. Yeah. And in every way, you have to look at what is controlling you. This is something that I've been good at my whole life. Like I've spotted it, control with different things, with work, with the military, with women, with all kinds of shit. I'm just saying, like everybody knows like the tricks that women try to play, and
they work. Look at you.
That's what you think. You know me pretty well.
Yeah.
If you give me an ultimatum, how do you think that goes?
Yeah. But that was with me. What about before?
That was
you learned that.
No, I was that way. If I get an ultimatum, I go the other way. Almost always. Because there's something about an ultimatum, I will go the other way. Because I know an ultimatum is trying to control somebody. If you don't do this, then I'm going to do this. If you don't do this, then this is not going to happen. Guess what? I'm fucking out.